Quest is the best decision I've made in my life.
Everything about the university inspires you to learn.
The Quest students are definitely going to change the world. It's only a question of how much.
My goals have become much bigger.
I truly believe that Quest is the future of education.
I wish I had had this type of an education in my undergrad.
We've created something that's new, that's fantastic, and it's working.
The Quest education creates passionate people, and passionate people just can't help change the world.
So many things about this institution are a radical departure from a typical university. Claude Legrand says, in the 19th century, the person who won was the expert, the person who had a lot of detailed knowledge crammed into his head. We live in a knowledge economy, not an industrial economy. Information is ubiquitous and it's free. So the person who wins today is the person who has the processes to synthesize information and can collaborate with people from different disciplines, sharing intellectual tools to solve transdisciplinary problems like the impact of globalization, the crisis in fresh water, the impact of global climate change.
From day one at Quest, we're taught to think on our feet and to solve problems in groups and to be good public speakers.
They're trained to communicate between disciplines and to ask good questions and then to go about trying to answer those questions.
The first day in Cornerstone, I was terrified because the first question Brian asked about man and nature, everyone had their hands up, everyone was participating, and it was a bit strange for me to have that sort of environment where everyone really wanted to learn and was there for a reason, not just going through the motions of taking classes.
Our classes are capped at 20. That means that I interact one-on-one with every single student. There's absolutely no hiding. It's not like a traditional university where you can go to the lecture hall and sit in the back and doze off.
The way the classes are set up especially, it's a round table and it's very discussion-based. You have to speak and you have to give your opinion.
As Confucius said, tell me and I'll forget, show me and I'll remember, involve me and I will understand.
We're #1 in the National Survey of Student Engagement across North America.
The NSSE survey surveys about 650 universities in North America. In talking to a Quest student, what I find is their eyes light up when they start talking about the things that they're interested in. And they're not simply repeating what they've heard, but they're really engaging with it as though it were their own personal kind of mission. And I find that quite different than other university students that I've encountered.
I think there's a lot of reasons why Quest was #1. I think definitely the block program and the small classes really allow for a lot of engagement for students.
Another very unusual aspect of Quest is that we teach on the block system. This means students still take 4 courses over the course of a semester, but they take them in series rather than in parallel. The difference with a single focus, when you have 3 hours a day, 5 days a week at minimum in class, and expect 5 hours a day for the students working outside of class, the depth you can get to is simply incomparable. In February or March of the second year, each student has an entire month, a block, working with some colleagues and a faculty member to come up with an individualized question, something about which they're deeply interested.
And this question essentially becomes your major.
My question is, what is poverty and how can it be reduced?
What are the outcomes of education?
How can government manage natural resources to create economic development?
What is normal?
What is the best way to educate a child?
What is the relationship between beauty and pattern?
If you have a Rubik's Cube and a Rubik's Cube is solved and each side represents a discipline, so white might be economics, red might be math, and blue might be biology. Real world problems are complex and they're messy, so when the question then gets the student to look at it from these different angles.
It's a question of whether you're looking for a degree or you're looking for an education. Faculty in any university have teaching loads and research opportunities. And being rational creatures, they try to minimize their loads and maximize their opportunities. The reward system is skewed towards research. Now, we need research. I'm a research scientist. I understand that. But it can become inimical to the purpose for which most universities were founded, and that is to educate undergraduates. At Quest, we have one goal: to provide the most effective, engaging undergraduate liberal arts education we can, and to prepare leaders for the next century.